Hello, everyone. This is Zayami Eccles Irwin from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the Assistant Director of the Portland Comedy Film Festival. We are gearing up for our Spring 2023 session, which is going to be on May 21st at the beautiful, historic Clinton Street Theater. And today I am talking to our one of our participating films. This is Doug and Molly Walsh, the team behind The King of Fast Food Sluts. Fantastic title. Doug, Molly, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Now, before we get started, can you give us a little bit of information on your background, what you guys did in this film, what were your roles?
Yeah, well, my role is I wrote the lyric and I wrote the song, which is copyrighted. And I enjoyed doing it in my car while I was commuting back and forth over hours and hours. And it was just a lot of fun.
Excellent. And Molly,
Yeah, I was director for the film, and also a lot of other kind of background roles. I was a backup cinematographer. I helped with costume design and set design and all kind of the different things behind the scenes that needed to happen to make the film happen.
excellent. That is the classic story of independent film production, wearing lots of hats. And Doug,
Exactly.
you are the titular star as well.
Yes, I'm actually the actor. I'd like to say it was CGI. Unfortunately, it's total realism, and the audience needs to just get over it.
Hey, the performance is so fantastic. No shame needed. That is one hell of
Oh,
costume
that's
and
her. She did it. She was very modest. She did it all. And the costume, she showed me that in the morning and she said, "Dad, put this on." And it was like, oh my goodness.
I love
And
that.
then she filmed it, edited it, and I am out there. That's all I could say.
That's incredible. Well, what inspired you guys to make this film?
Well, for me, I'm a very large person. Every morning I get up, I weigh myself,
Okay.
I enjoy food. And I don't revel in it, right? I look around and 35% of Americans are overweight. That's not a good thing, and I'm not a good person for overeating on the one hand. On the other hand, I thought, hey, I should just get out there with what I have to say about myself. And it's not that I'm proud about it. I just wanted to make it out there. And then I thought
Totally.
maybe what we could do is promote this and drive people who hate the film and love the film to food banks. So that's our thing. We just want to drive
Okay.
people to food banks, make contributions, bring your food there. I've enjoyed that during COVID in particular, made the contributions. And so there we are. So I had two choices. I could revel in my being overweight or I could diet. I'm sorry, I chose the former.
Hey, unapologetic, and it's got a message. It's got a cause. I think that's really great. What about you, Molly? How did you decide to film the song?
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I first heard about the lyrics that my dad had written around
Mhm.
2007, so when I was still a kid, and it's been kind of family lore for a long time. I think he's performed earlier versions at it at like extended family, like Christmas parties and
Nice.
holidays and things like that. So everybody kind of had heard about at least earlier versions of it, knew about it, and everybody for years were like, we should do something with this. Like should we film something? Should we make a music video? This I feel like this has to be put to the big screen somehow. And so finally, the timing this past summer of 22, everything just kind of came together. I was starting to get a little bit into filmmaking. I'm a photographer by trade, but
Okay.
hadn't really gone into videography a lot at that point. But I was starting to do that. And so at that point, I was kind of interested in turning something into a video. And then we also have a cousin who is more of a videographer primarily by trade. And so we recruited him to be the cinematographer for the day. And then we kind of sent out a wide email like, we're going to do this. This is happening. I think everybody's remembered this video from years past. It's all hands on deck. If you want to see this be made into a movie and help out, come and help us. That's what we sent out to different family members. And so people thankfully answered the call. And so we set up a day, and we decided to do just one big video shoot in one day with all hands on deck.
That's awesome. And at the end of the video, you see a little bit of the behind the scenes, and you see how many people are there, and it seems multi generational, big family. What was that onset process like? It looks so fun.
Well, it was shot in our garage,
Okay.
but my daughter went to Evergreen State College, where she self-directed her education, which
Okay.
they're
Yeah.
paying for. She was artistic. She went into drama. She went into photography. They had fabulous resources. And so I'm just a schlep right out there doing my stupid lyric and this and that. She brought her genius and my perversion into a process in our garage,
I love that.
right? You remember Gary Lewis and the Playboys, they were a garage band back in
Mhm.
1963, 64. Well, they came out. Well, we went into our garage and made this movie, which I think both of us are very proud of her. And she hope she points back and says, and him.
It's true.
And it's like, it's called collaboration. And that's what you want. Any artistic event that is successful is collaboration, whether it be the artist or the medium or the venue. It's all a big thing. She was shooting a burlesque theater in Olympia this weekend,
Okay. Wow.
and she brought her art into their burlesque. It's just amazing how it all mixes together.
Totally. And that is the beauty of the sort of the independent and the collaboration spirit. The final product will always be this big marriage between multiple ideas. And I
Right,
mean, you guys are showcasing that because you both participate in a very crucial component of the work.
right.
I had a question. I was struck by the how cool the set looked, and I didn't know it was in your garage. And I'm wondering, does your still photography background, how did that work translating into film? I know you had help with cinematography from your cousin, but and the way that you're panning on these foods, it's extremely professional and high quality. I just want to know if I can hear a little bit more about that process.
Yeah, definitely. I spent a lot of time ahead of the video shoot really thinking about how I wanted the set to look
Okay.
and kind of looking at the lyrics and the vibe of the song itself and kind of thinking about how can we best illustrate what this looks like. And to me, I kind of had a couple of different ideas come to mind. I kind of almost had like a theatrical kind of stage nightclub type of
Totally.
idea in the back of my mind and how I wanted kind of the backdrop to look. And then I had kind of as more ideas came in, they kind of piled on top of each other. So then I also, for the kind of buffet feast scenes, had this idea before me of like, what if we actually um, just create a full buffet feast? It was kind of a last minute addition,
Oh
actually.
wow.
Only a couple days before the shoot, it was like, wait a minute, maybe we should actually make this happen. And so, trying to create this kind of like Thanksgiving huge buffet feast in front of our eyes, I felt like that there was a lot to play with in that, where there was like a
Totally.
lot of different angles and a lot of different ways that we would be able to take that both with my dad in his scenes and just kind of if we need to like b-roll and kind of just images of the food itself. Like I
Right.
thought there was a lot that we could do with that. And so that's kind of how it came about. And I tried to do a lot of prep work ahead of time as far as different ideas for what we could do to make it visually like engaging and interesting. Because I thought the backdrop was a cool idea, but I'm like, if we only have the backdrop, we'll get a
Right.
little boring to look at that after 3 minutes. And so, what else could we do to kind of visually engage and to help complement the lyrics as well?
Excellent. Well, it lends itself to that sort of celebratory, glamorous nature, and I love that the food actually looks so good. It's like, um, what did you guys learn from this process? Did you gain any new insights on filmmaking, performance, art, anything?
I learned a lot as a filmmaker. I mean, I was very, very beginning at
Okay.
that point last summer. I mean, I still am now, but at that point, I had only done maybe one kind of small project before that. And it was in a totally different arena. I'd done kind of a little documentary type project.
Okay.
And so like art of filmmaking in the sense of like working on a fictional, not documentary project. It was totally new to me, and there was a lot of just learning by doing. And I learned a lot about how you need a lot of hands on deck and you need to wear a lot of hats.
For
And
sure.
when we invited everybody, it was like, you know, you might be able to help, you might just be hanging out and watching it unfold. We'll see. And we ended up needing every hand that was there on deck for different roles to help out. And I also learned how important editing is to
Okay.
the final product. You know, it feels like after a long day of filming, it's like, wow, we're at the finish line. We got the footage. This is great. And then when I got into the editing room, because I also edited the video, it was like, oh no, oh, this is only halfway there. We have a whole other halfway before the
Right.
video is actually completed. And so, and looking at how important it was and how editing choices really make a huge difference in the final product, where it's like, do I put this frame or this frame? It was like, wow, these are actually really important choices to make. And there was kind of a couple of different iterations of like, should I go this way or that way before the final product came out? But that was definitely a huge part of the learning experience for me.
And if I can add my 2 cents,
Yeah.
my vision for this was to say, just shoot my lips, because I was in love with my lyric, right?
Oh, right, right.
What happened that morning is she said, no. She put together the set, the costumes, the script, I mean, all the food, the whole thing. She put it together and she shot this. If it had just been my lips, I have to tell you, I don't think we would have gotten out of orbit. But because of what she
Right.
did, filmmaking became the whole thing. It was just fabulous. So I have to say, I learned to get over myself and turn it over to a competent filmmaker. There, now you know.
That makes sense. Well, it's part of that collaboration of spirit, and it is good insight about the editing too, because you hit these milestones. I mean, even the task of getting that many people there to help and setting up the set, you feel like, okay, how could there possibly be more? But then editing is where you do have to kind of make peace with cutting things out and moving things. And but it's a remarkable effort as a first narrative film. I mean, it's really incredible. It doesn't read as your first. I assumed from your bio going to Evergreen College, I assumed you studied film, and so it's crazy that you were self taught a sort of photo. Um, what are you guys working on next? Any more collaboration? Any more narrative stuff?
I have 2 songs. This
Okay,
one that you're seeing, which is actually spoken word,
right.
and I wrote a song about, guess what? I was born and raised in Eugene, Oregon.
Oh, nice.
My dad was in the forest products industry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And back in probably the 80s, I wrote a song which I love, and it may or may not be videographically cool. And I'm happy to sing the first verse to you, but it's called The Workaday Blues. And it
Okay.
tells the story of a kid who grows up in Oregon, lives his life working as a blue collar guy, dies, and pounds the door of the pearly gates to try and come in. And I think it's really cool,
I love
but
that.
I've sung it so many thousands of times that I don't know. I don't think I see the visuals, but
Okay.
guess what? She could make the
Yeah.
visuals,
That's true.
but it's going to require going out into Oregon and shooting lumber mills
Right.
and questionable houses of repute and other stuff like that.
That sounds incredible. I would love to see that. I love the topic of the song too.
Well,
Um,
can I sing the first verse?
please do. Absolutely. I would love
Well,
that.
you may have to cut this, by the way. I understand. I
No,
was
I have all the
born
time
down in
right now for this.
Oregon, number 13 out of 14 sons. Daddy died in the Union Brawl. I was born. I survived sweeping floors in a cat house hall. There, now you.
I love that. Okay, I'm getting visuals now too. These like
No, no, well, it
sensors.
could be, yeah.
Well, that's
I
great.
worked
Not
I
only do you
worked in
have
I worked in sawmills and plywood
okay.
plants, so I've been there, and that inspired me. So that's that. What you said, what's next? Someday, maybe we'll see.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
And Molly, do you have any other narrative stuff going? Are you sold on this project, this next one?
No.
When he gives me the green light, considering how long it took for the King of Fast Food Sluts to come about, I'm anticipating about a 15-year timeline on this next one. But hopefully, maybe I will get the green light sooner than that, and we can make something happen with that.
Let's bill it as we're in pre-production.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. I like
that.
it. Yeah, well, I'm still pitching it. See, I
Right,
heard
yeah.
the word pitch. Apparently, you go to
Shopping it around.
Hollywood, you get a really fancy restaurant, and you talk to somebody across the table, and
Right.
you pitch something. So,
You gotta walk the walk, talk the talk.
yeah.
Well, is there anything else you guys would like to add about King of Fast Food Sluts?
Oh, well, I can add something. We
Yeah.
are extremely excited that you have accepted us into your
Absolutely.
festival. Oh my gosh. The whole family is glowing. There will be a contingent of us down there. Thank
Excellent.
you so much. It's fun.
Oh, that's gonna be great. And I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna read great on the big screen. The costumes, everything, they're so glamorous. I think people are gonna get a great kick out of it.
Yep.
But anyway, thank you guys so much for talking with me. I can't wait to screen this May 21st at the Clinton Street Theater. And yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you then.
Thank you to you and your audience. We're looking forward to it.
Looking
Thanks.
forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, take care, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.